Hi, it's Joanna here with Four-Legged Scholars Dog Training, and we're here with Cassie, Michelle, and Dave, and Drew, and Ravenna, and we're going to talk about the problems they had with Drew, what Drew is like now, and what they learned from us, because initially Drew had a lot of issues with objects. So we're just going to have a success story here. So what was Drew like before you worked with Four-Legged Scholars? What problems were you having?
I think the problems we were having were the fact that he was very destructive. He would guard objects and, almost want to bite you to take those objects away. And so it was pretty serious there for a while. We were worried about it and wanted to stop that behavior.
Yeah, and he actually did bite you once, right?
Yes.
That's so scary.
Yes.
Oh, so not fun to deal with that.
No.
What other problems were you guys dealing with, or was that kind of the main reason that you called me?
I think that he had such, these Eskies have such high energy. That's part of their breed. But we really, really needed some training for him just to kind of dampen some of that extra energy. And I think what the training allowed was for him to funnel that through in a more controlled environment. And I think it's been very successful.
Great. So what are some things that you guys learned with Four-Legged Scholars that were helpful for you? And what tools did you learn?
Well, I learned definitely the drop and leave it commands. Those really saved me in a lot of situations since we've been in training. For instance, if there was a pillow that he wanted to guard and he seemed to be getting aggressive with that, the drop and the leave it, and it wasn't the fanciest drop and leave it, but that I could have done, but it worked, and I didn't feel threatened, and I didn't feel like he was going to bite me because of it. Good. So you also learned that that training isn't always about having the perfect end result, because it really takes a lot of practice and consistency to even have a behavior to be perfect. Yes.
The biggest thing is in the moment that we're able to get the positive response that we want and the good reaction, which you got. That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome. What would you say was the most helpful for you, Cassie?
I'd say leave it totally, because it was fun to learn and you kind of added on, kept adding on to it. I really liked that, and he liked it too, I think.
So what's the sequence that we do when Drew has an object?
So we would go drop, and then you'd get like a special treat for him. And then you'd say leave it, and you have to wait till he just goes to a certain distance and sits. And then you give him a treat, and then you say stay, and then you pretend that you're picking up an object, and then you give him a treat, and he's done.
Nice. Awesome. Who would like to do a demonstration on that?
You got it, Dad?
You gonna do it?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to move over to the couch over
absolutely.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Let's try this.
So, one thing that we did was do things in the closed hand, and we did stuff on the floor to help it generalize with a lot of different objects.
Go, Drew. Drop it. Leave it.
Almost.
Drop it.
Tell him leave it again.
Leave it.
So he's got to go 4 feet away. So there's been a few times where he's backed away and sat, which is really good. But we really want that 4 feet difference. Yep. Awesome.
Wait. Stay. Click.
And then pick up the object. Good.
All done.
Very good. Awesome, Drew.
That was great.
Good job.
That was great. And the more we practice it, the faster he'll get with that sequence. So you said that he did that with the pillow this week, and what other object did you guys need to do it with?
I think actually it was a sock
Paper towels, right?
and paper towels.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And-
awesome.
And like I said, it wasn't fancy because you have to think quick. You can't, it's not like, okay, here's a tree, let's do this. In the meantime, he's just all fired up, and so we have to work quick, fast, but accurately.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and the more you do it, the easier it'll get.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you say, how do you feel it is now with Drew? Or what would you say is the main emotion that you feel after working with us?
I would say confident. That we know how to handle him now. And less fear. Definitely less fear.
Awesome. That's great. So what would you tell somebody if they asked about working with four-legged scholars?
I definitely would say go for it.
Awesome.
There's just an amazing feeling when you see progress with your own animal, because your animal's part of your family, and now we feel he's more part of our family and engaged with us.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
I would
great.
say that for me, Joanna was an excellent teacher. Going into this, we kind of thought it was a teacher of the dog, but it's really a teacher of us. And she was so patient with us, and worked us at our own levels on that, and very, very positive, very reinforcing. So that played well on us, and it certainly played well with Drew.
That's great. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. And if you would like to work with four-legged scholars, just go to Ohio, the number 4leggedscholars.com or 801-463-1668 and tell us about your dog.